Good morning, everyone. I want to talk to you about something that honestly doesn't get said enough. Time isn't slowing down for anyone. It's moving, whether you're ready or not, and 2026 is closer than it feels. If you keep putting things off, that delay is going to cost you. Not immediately, maybe, but eventually. And when it hits hard. So today, I'm going to walk you through 10 things you should seriously consider doing before 2026 shows up. Let's start with this: learning something new. Not for the sake of adding a line on your resume, not to impress anyone, but to actually stay relevant. The world is shifting constantly. Faster than most people can keep up with. If you look back even a decade, things that are normal today didn't even exist in the same way. Nobody was really talking about AI tools, data work, or digital marketing like they are now. And the truth is, the world doesn't wait for you to catch up. It just keeps going. If you don't grow with it, you fall behind. It's that simple. When you pick up a new skill, something interesting happens. You start seeing yourself differently. You stop feeling stuck in whatever role or label you've been carrying. You realize you're not limited to your degree or your current job. You actually have room to expand. And that shift alone can change everything. People naturally respect those who bring something unique to the table. So don't sit around waiting for someone to train you or guide you step by step. Take control of that yourself. Pick something that connects to what you want out of life. If you're thinking about building something online, then maybe you get into content creation, marketing, or editing. If leadership is more your thing, then work on communication, decision-making, and understanding people. Just start somewhere. Even half an hour a day adds up more than you think. The issue usually isn't time, it's what you choose to do with it. Your skill set is basically your edge. Without it, you're exposed. With it, you're in control. Now, let's talk about something people ignore until it becomes a problem: your health. This one's not optional, no matter how busy life gets. A lot of people trade their health to chase money, and then later they spend that money trying to fix what they lost. That cycle doesn't make sense, but it happens all the time. Your body is where everything happens. If it starts failing, everything else gets harder. So instead of waiting for a wake-up call, start small. Drink enough water. It sounds basic, but most people don't even get that right. Your body needs it to function properly. Without it, everything slows down. Food matters too. Not just eating anything to feel full, but actually giving your body something useful. Try to cut back on heavily processed stuff when you can. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware. Treat your body like it matters, because it does. Movement is another big one. You don't need a gym membership if that's not your thing. Just don't stay inactive. Walk, stretch, move around, keep your system active. The less you move, the worse you feel over time. It creeps up slowly, but it's real. And sleep, this one gets ignored way too much. People act like sleeping less means they're working harder. That's not how it works. Lack of sleep just makes everything harder, from thinking clearly to staying focused. Your body resets while you sleep. If you skip that, you're running on empty. Mental health matters just as much. Give yourself some quiet time. Step away from noise, from screens, from constant input. Whether that's sitting in silence, reflecting, or praying, whatever works for you. Also, pay attention to the people and environments around you. If something consistently drains you, limit your exposure to it. Stress builds up, and it does more damage than most people realize. At the end of the day, your health supports everything else you want to do. If that foundation is weak, it's only a matter of time before things start falling apart. So no matter how packed your schedule is, make room for it. Now let's shift to money, but not in the way people usually think about it. This isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about building stability. A lot of people assume they'll start saving once they earn more, but that usually doesn't happen. If you don't build the habit now, a bigger paycheck won't fix it. Start small if you have to. Even setting aside a small percentage consistently builds discipline. And that discipline is what really matters long term. But saving alone isn't enough. Let your money grow. Learn the basics of investing. You don't have to jump into anything complicated right away, just understand how it works. There are simple options out there that don't require deep expertise. The key is starting early, because time does a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to growth. The longer you wait, the more you lose out on that advantage. You're not just saving for today. You're preparing for moments when you need flexibility, when opportunities show up, or when life throws something unexpected your way. Having that cushion changes how you move. It gives you options. And one more thing, don't waste money trying to look successful. It's not worth it. Focus on actually building something real instead of chasing appearances. Let's talk about something that sounds simple but ends up changing the way you see everything: traveling somewhere new. Not for posting pictures or checking in at fancy places, but for what it does to your mindset. When you step outside your usual environment, something shifts. You realize your daily routine isn't the whole world. There's more out there, different ways of living, thinking, surviving, and even succeeding. You start noticing things you never paid attention to before. How people manage with less, or how they find happiness in ways that don't depend on status or material things. It forces you to adjust. Maybe your plans don't go smoothly. Maybe things feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable. But that's where growth happens. You learn to deal with uncertainty without falling apart. And in the middle of all that, you gain perspective. Your problems don't feel as overwhelming when you see how big the world actually is. You also build appreciation. You start valuing what you already have instead of constantly focusing on what's missing. The memories you create while traveling stay with you in a different way. Years later, you won't care about the things you bought, you'll remember the experiences. The moments that made you feel something real. And you don't need a huge budget to make it happen. Start local if you have to. Explore places around you. The goal isn't distance, it's exposure. Now, let's move into something that's becoming more important every single year: your personal brand. Whether you realize it or not, you already have one. It's how people perceive you when you're not around. The question is, are you shaping it intentionally, or just leaving it to chance? Today, people don't just trust titles or qualifications. They pay attention to consistency, value, and authenticity. That's what builds credibility. So start by understanding yourself. What do you actually stand for? What are you good at? What experiences have shaped you? People connect more with real stories than polished achievements. So don't be afraid to share your journey, the wins, the struggles, the lessons. That's what makes you relatable. And when people relate to you, they start trusting you. That trust turns into influence, and that influence opens doors. Use your online presence with purpose. Instead of just scrolling or posting random content, think about what you're putting out there. Share ideas, insights, or even things you're learning along the way. You don't have to be an expert, you just have to be honest and consistent. And remember, your reputation isn't built only online. The way you show up in real life matters just as much. How you treat people, whether you keep your word, how you handle pressure, those things define you more than anything you post. When your personal brand is strong, opportunities start finding you. You don't have to chase everything. People come to you because they already see value in what you bring. Now here's something that sounds old school but still works better than most modern shortcuts: reading. Not casually, not occasionally, but intentionally. Books give you access to years of experience in a short amount of time. That's a trade you don't want to ignore. A lot of people say they don't have time, but if you look closely, it's usually not about time, it's about priorities. If you can spend hours on your phone, you can carve out even 20 or 30 minutes to read something meaningful. When you read consistently, your thinking starts to shift. You're exposed to ideas you wouldn't normally come across. You begin to understand people better. You see patterns, strategies, and perspectives that give you an advantage. It also improves your focus. In a world full of distractions, the ability to sit down and concentrate is rare and valuable. You think more clearly, communicate better, and make decisions with more confidence. Pick books that challenge you. The kind that make you pause and reflect, not just pass time. And don't rush through them. Take a moment after each section and ask yourself how it applies to your life. That's where the real value comes from. If you build this habit before 2026, you'll notice the difference. Your mindset won't be the same as the people around you who never took the time to grow mentally. Now let's bring it back to something more personal, your family. It's easy to overlook this when you're busy chasing goals, trying to build something, or just keeping up with life. But at the end of everything, these are the people who actually matter. A lot of people realize this too late. They spend years focusing on work, money, or recognition, and somewhere along the way, they lose connection with the people closest to them. And when they try to fix it, it's not always that simple. Being physically present isn't enough. You have to actually be there mentally too. Put your phone down sometimes. Have real conversations. Ask questions. Listen without rushing. Share your own experiences. Simple things matter more than you think. Eating together, checking in on each other, spending even a few uninterrupted minutes, it all adds up. These moments build trust and connection over time. And there's another side to it. Being around family reminds you who you are outside of everything else. Outside of your job, your responsibilities, or the pressure you carry. That connection gives you strength in a way nothing else can. Life doesn't always give warnings. People don't always stay forever. So don't wait for the right time to prioritize them. Make time now, even if it's limited. Because at the end of it all, success doesn't feel the same if you have no one to share it with. Now let's get into something a lot of people keep pushing forward without realizing how much it's holding them back. That one project you keep delaying. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's been sitting in your mind for weeks, maybe months, maybe even years. You keep telling yourself you'll start when things calm down, when you have more time, or when you feel ready. But if you're being honest, that moment never really comes. There's always something else. Work, responsibilities, distractions, unexpected problems. Life doesn't clear the path for you to begin. Waiting for the perfect time is just another way of avoiding the discomfort that comes with starting. Because starting means uncertainty. It means you might fail. It means you'll have to figure things out as you go. That project could be anything. Maybe it's writing something you've been thinking about for years. Maybe it's launching a business, starting a channel, building a routine, or learning something that could shift your career. Whatever it is, it only has value if you actually begin. Until then, it's just an idea that keeps circling in your head. When you finally take that first step, it won't feel smooth. You'll question yourself. You'll feel like you don't know enough. That's normal. Everyone goes through that phase. The difference is, some people move forward anyway. You don't need everything figured out at the start. Just do what you can with what you have right now. Once you begin, things start making more sense. You adjust, you learn, you improve. Progress creates clarity. Finishing something you once kept postponing gives you a different level of confidence. It shows you that you can break through hesitation. And that feeling carries into other areas of your life. It builds momentum. Think about how you'd feel looking back at the end of 2025, knowing you finally followed through. That sense of completion is worth the effort. Regret, on the other hand, sticks with you longer than failure ever does. Now let's talk about something that can speed up your growth in ways you can't always do alone: having a mentor, or being one. Both sides matter. A mentor is someone who's already been through what you're trying to figure out. They've made mistakes, learned lessons, and found better ways to move forward. When you learn from them, you skip a lot of unnecessary struggle. You gain insight without having to go through every single failure yourself. And no, it doesn't have to be someone famous or unreachable. It can be someone in your circle who's just a few steps ahead in a specific area. A teacher, a colleague, someone you respect. Even people you follow online can guide you if you actually apply what they share. The important part is how you show up. If you're asking for guidance, be willing to listen and take action. Nobody wants to keep advising someone who never follows through. On the other side, being a mentor shapes you just as much. When you help someone else grow, you start seeing your own gaps more clearly. You become more patient, more aware, and more responsible. Teaching forces you to understand things at a deeper level. You don't need to be at the top to guide someone. You just need to be ahead of them in some way. There's always someone who can benefit from what you already know. This exchange, learning and teaching, creates growth on both sides. It's not just about moving forward individually. It's about building something that extends beyond you. Now let's go into something that people carry quietly for years: mistakes from the past. Things they wish they handled differently. Decisions they regret. Moments that still bother them. Holding on to those things doesn't fix anything. It just drains your energy and keeps you stuck in a version of yourself that no longer exists. Everyone makes mistakes. That's part of the process. What matters is what you do after. If you keep replaying the same regrets in your mind, you're not moving forward, you're just reliving the past. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean ignoring what happened. It means accepting it, learning from it, and choosing not to let it control you anymore. You can't build a better future while constantly looking backward. The energy you spend blaming yourself could be used to improve your habits, your mindset, and your direction. Think about who you were when you made those decisions. You were working with the understanding you had at that time. Since then, you've grown. You've learned. So instead of holding on to guilt, take the lesson and move forward with it. This shift also changes how you treat others. When you're not so harsh on yourself, you stop being overly critical of people around you. You become more understanding, more balanced. If something has been weighing on you, find a way to let it go. Write it down if you need to. Acknowledge it. Then move on. Don't carry it into the next chapter of your life. As we bring this together, just remember this: if you actually follow through on these things before 2026, your life won't look the same. Not because of luck, but because of the choices you made consistently. Your future isn't waiting on perfect conditions. It's shaped by what you decide to do now. So don't just hear this and move on. Act on it. Ideas don't change your life. Action does. And while dreaming doesn't cost anything, building something real always requires effort, discipline, and a willingness to keep going even when it's uncomfortable.